Imagine the scene. The sun beats down on the arid, windswept landscape of an island off the coast of Abu Dhabi. This is Serbani Yas Island. But beneath the modern surface lies a history far deeper and more complex than most would ever guess. It was here, amidst the patient work of archaeologists, that something truly extraordinary came to light. Not gold, not jewels, but something far more precious for what it tells us about our shared past. A simple object, fashioned from plaster, yet with the power to reshape our understanding of history. It was a cross, a Christian cross, 1400 years old. Let's take a closer look at the cross itself. Close-up reveal of incised plaster detail. It's not a grand golden crucifix dripping with jewels like those you might find in the cathedrals of Europe. This cross is humble, made from local plaster, and that is precisely what makes it so special. Its design is simple yet elegant, an equal-armed cross, often associated with the Church of the East, also known as the Nestorian Church. This branch spread far and wide along ancient trade routes, reaching all the way to China. The Serbani Yas cross is a physical link to that journey of faith. It's beautifully decorated, intricate patterns incised into the plaster while it was still wet. You can see small dots, and lines forming a delicate frame around the arms of the cross, a style that feels distinctly local. This isn't a carbon copy from Byzantium or Rome. To truly grasp the importance of this cross, we must transport ourselves back to the 7th century. This was an era of immense change, a pivotal moment in world history. Byzantium and Persia, which had dominated the region for centuries, were locked in a long and exhausting series of wars. They were weakening, their power beginning to wane. Into this power vacuum, a new force was emerging from the heart of the Arabian Peninsula. The message of Islam was spreading with incredible speed, unifying tribes and creating a new political and spiritual landscape. It was a world in a state of profound and rapid transformation. Traditionally, the story of Christianity in this period is one of retreat. Historians often depicted Christian communities in the Middle East as being quickly absorbed or displaced by the expansion of Islam. This is the established history that the Serbani Yas cross so brilliantly complicates. The reality, as archaeologists are discovering, was far more nuanced. The Serbani Yas monastery wasn't just a tiny, isolated chapel. Artist reconstructions and aerials show a much larger complex. Excavations reveal well-laid-out architecture and organized spaces. The complex included a church, a courtyard, rooms that likely served as monk cells, workshops, kitchens. This was a self-sufficient, thriving outpost of faith. The scale suggests a regional center for the Church of the East, serving Christian communities all along the Arabian Gulf Coast. Similar sites have been found in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Iran. Together they show Nestorian Christianity was not a fringe belief, but a well-established presence with a network of monasteries and churches. These communities were integrated into maritime trade routes. The Gulf was a bustling corridor of commerce and culture. They were active participants, not passive bystanders. One of the most captivating aspects of the Serbani Yas discovery is, honestly, what it tells us about art and identity. The artifacts found at the monastery are not simply copies of things made elsewhere. They possess a unique character, a distinct local flavor. This is a powerful illustration of how faith adapts and really takes root in new environments. The patterns found on the cross and other fragments from the site show a blend of influences. We see motifs that are clearly Christian, like the cross itself, but the geometric designs and flowing lines have echoes of the artistic styles of Sasanian Persia, which had long held influence in the Gulf. There may even be hints of earlier pre-Islamic Arabian art. What is particularly fascinating is the way the cross is designed. It has no depiction of the body of Christ, common in Nestorian art. This tradition focused on the cross as a symbol of resurrection and victory over death, rather than as an image of suffering. This theological nuance, captured in plaster, gives intimate insight into their beliefs. Beyond the beautiful cross in the church, the archaeology of Serbani Yas gives us tantalizing glimpses into everyday life. By studying the monastery layout and the objects they left, we begin to piece together the rhythm of their days. The site was more than a place of prayer. It was a bustling hub. The monks followed ora et labora, prayer and work. Their lives were structured around services and practical tasks to sustain the community. Numerous small rooms or cells clustered around a central courtyard. Each monk had a simple space for sleep and private prayer, but life was lived largely in common. The courtyard was the heart, for gathering, work, and cool evenings. Archaeologists identified a kitchen and a refectory where monks prepared and ate meals together. Meals were simple: fish from the sea, dates from nearby palms, perhaps vegetables they cultivated. The site shows the community wasn't isolated but engaged in the local economy. Fine pottery and glassware, some imported from Mesopotamia and beyond, show links to Gulf trade networks. The story of the Surbani Yas Monastery is not just a Christian story, it's a story about interfaith relations. The fact that this Christian community continued to flourish for at least 150 years after the advent of Islam speaks volumes about the nature of the society at the time. It points towards a period of remarkable tolerance and peaceful coexistence. The location of the monastery is key. Surbani Yas Island sits on a major maritime trade route connecting Mesopotamia, Persia, India, and the Far East. For centuries, this was a highway for goods, ideas, and beliefs. The monks were not hiding from the world. They were strategically placed within it. They would have encountered Muslim, Jewish, Zoroastrian, and Hindu traders and sailors. This daily interaction would have fostered mutual understanding and respect. There is no archaeological evidence of any conflict at the Surbani Yas site. No signs of violent destruction, no burned layers. The discovery of the ancient cross on Surbani Yas Island is more than just a fascinating archaeological find. It is a profound gift to our understanding of the past. It enriches the history of the United Arab Emirates and the entire Arabian Gulf, revealing a depth and diversity that was previously hidden from view. This single artifact, humble and made of local plaster, helps us to weave a much richer and more intricate historical tapestry. It proves that this region has long been a crossroads of cultures, a place where different faiths and peoples met, traded, and coexisted for centuries. This story inspires us to look beyond simplistic narratives. History is rarely a simple tale of one group replacing another. It is almost always a more complex story of interaction, adaptation, and continuity. For the modern world, the message of Surbani Yas is one of hope and inspiration. In a time when we are often told stories of religious division and conflict, this ancient monastery speaks of a different possibility. It stands as a testament to a time of peaceful coexistence and mutual respect in the heart of the Middle East. Ultimately, the cross of Surbani Yas invites us all to be more curious and open-minded about history. It is a reminder that beneath the surface of the present, there are always deeper, more surprising, and more beautiful stories waiting to be told.